When it comes to getting to love, doing it twice is even better than one. Doing it thrice, 4 times, 5 times. So here's where love and relationships. For a person who has healthy self-worth, when you are reliant on your own sense of self-worth, so you have secure attachment, and so you don't have trust breaks after heartbreak. Okay, so we're going to start with, I'm a 44-year-old woman, I have 3 twin flames, and I have a bunch of soulmates, and I have an oversoul. So 5D Mystic here for spiritual self-help and personal development, and those who do emotions, because we can love more, not less. I'm going to start with my lovely TikTokers. We have 2 videos on YouTube. One is uploading, another is on the way, and this is probably going to come on before the other one. So if you're on YouTube, there's going to be another episode for you to check in on later on if you are part of the IHP community membership, meaning our subscribers. The membership opportunities, the payment ones, will be made available at some point. We are finally stabilizing in our 1K. And we're going to be growing. Why? Because love, there's more. And that's with our polyamory and monoamory community. So the 5D Collective, which is our second episode, well, our third, depending again on when this one comes out, it is all about how we can love more people. Because if we get the opportunity to love 2 times, are you going to say no? 3 times? No. So the only people who say no to love and say it's getting harder are the ones who got heartbroken and didn't know how to tune to their self and become their own safe haven, secure base. So they're independent, conscious lover, 1-year-old. And that means something different for every person. And that is for them. The Human Suffering Love Group can tell you about suffering. We get to talk about loving more because heart is a muscle. And when it breaks, it doesn't actually break. It's called sadness, but sadness is about connection. And so when we do get the opportunity to learn about what makes human love and what makes human not love, we have compassion for all people. Compassion doesn't mean I give you a green pass, I romanticize, I demonize. No, none of that. Compassion means that I can understand if a person does not know how to love, because I'm updated, me personally, and anybody who is updated with attachment and trauma information. So we don't need to do anything. The people who are actively learning how to identify what ghosting, gaslighting, and basically any of those signs are, well, they get to learn. My question is, are they also learning to become their secure attachment self? But I leave that alone and talk to my lovely community who does have the desire to love unconditionally. And therefore, again, we get to love twice. What better way to talk about love? That doesn't mean not crying. It doesn't mean not getting angry. Okay, so here's where our lovely Sadhguru, I'm going to use him. If you truly create what you care for and you get 2 opportunities, it is even better than 1. However, if you are suffering the process, then you will not want to create another opportunity, meaning that you'll want it to happen the first time around the way you want it to happen, and when it doesn't, you're like, I don't want it. Which is what people have done with twin flames, soulmates, any of their romantic stories that ended up in heartbreak. Now, again, enjoying what you are creating. If you get 2 opportunities, you're going to say yes, and you're going to have joy and peace and love and happiness. So here's where, when I hear any person, those coaches, the relationship ones, because when you are supporting people, as for me, life coach involves relationships because it involves you and it involves us. And okay, so we integrate personal development, relationships, but those focused relationship coaches, which talk about people being people, some of them are in favor of you getting back with an ex. Like with tarot card readers, some of them are not in favor of you getting back with an ex. So whenever people share their personal subjective opinion, right? Okay, so that's where I have opinions too. They come from my subjective experiences. But what I'm going to share with you is that the person who gets to decide ultimately what relationships, love, and any of this called being a person means is you. Okay, so with that being said, I will share my lovely uncovering that, as I had stated as a teenager, I love all people equally. The only thing that changes is the active relationship I have with you, not the love. The amount of love stays the same. It's across board, equal. And that's when I learned, thanks Stephen Forges, that being a securely attached, differentiated self means my oxytocin gene hormone is on always. That's the enlightenment vibration for you, and that's why we don't have laundry. So that is where all of those emotions, when events happen to us, uncertainty, unexpected, unwanted, they come up, and the left mode chit-chats in the inner growth mindset. And so with that being said, prefrontal cortex, emotions last at 90 seconds, and then you move forward. If something is very deep, no, it depends on what you're expecting, what you're thinking, what you have as information. So all of that makes a difference. That's all I'm going to say. Which is why, let me equate it to you this way. The twin flame, yes, it's a deep connection. It is not destabilizing. It is not because of your twin flame. If you're a divine feminine, if you're masculine, that's a whole different story. So I'm going to put that to the side. As a divine feminine, my twin flame and flames did not give Maria my spirituality awakening anything. I was already awoken because my clairs came right around the same time that my first twin flame came around. When my second came around, I was already having hints that they were about to come around, but I was a newbie with my clairs, and when it happened, I was like, whoa, now I got two. And our lovely planet was going through the expansion of loving, and in fact, I moved into polyamory. But I also then, get another hit. I got a T3. Now I'm really surprised, and that was a double surprise, a double whammy. First like this, then like that, and then poof. And then I was like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, no, I know what's going on. Wait a minute, I don't know what's going on. No, I do know what's going on. No, I don't. Yes, I do. No, I don't. It's okay. I'll figure it out. That's how Divine Feminine works with herself. And then we're like, okay, I know I'm going somewhere. And when you go, when you get to the other side, it's why you're like, okay, I knew I'd love more. Now we're talking. And you know what you uncover? You uncover surprises. It took me a little bit to uncover my two beautiful soulmates, and that is in the most amazing of ways. And when I was understanding one of my soulmates, I was like, wow, you realize that thanks to all of this, look at what you're creating. And look at what beauty you're being able to hopefully bring. And then I get to learn of another in a very different way, a lot more subtle, a lot more soft, a lot more interesting, because that one completely, when things wiggle their way in and you're like interweaving, but you don't even know that you're basically crocheting something. And that's fun. That's fun too. So I actually simply can tell you this. Soulmates have my lovely brain expand. Twin flames, they have my brain expand. Love is always expanding. So what changes between twin flames and soulmates for Divine Feminine? We know who they are. That's all. Then they don't know who they are because they're not mystics unless they ask. Now, they'd have to ask directly. That would mean they'd have to be able to say, excuse me, Maria. Okay, so I'm just saying that's how it works. For Divine Feminine, we don't give away any of our secrets. They're not secrets. We talk about it with other feminines, like, the gossipers that men, those gender stereotypes. So with that being said, as Sadhguru shares, if you truly create what you care for and you get two opportunities, what I'm going to say is that I learned already from my teenage boyfriend when he broke up, not even a month after, I'm like, wow, I am so happy. And so whenever I hear anybody saying, I don't want to get broken up, you have so many options out there. I don't want it. 44-year-old woman, friend of mine, he's like, I thought you'd become more cynical. Instead, you've taken it pretty good. I like that because he's seen me evolve, and I consult with him every now and then. And it's funny though, he has a different way of seeing how I evolve, but it's okay. I leave it alone. And so we love more, and that's where polyamory, come on over, monoamory too, but don't be judging us. We're not unfaithful. We actually have the consensual non-monogamy relationships, just saying. There's a very big difference. And I know that there are monoamory who are open to us being together. So that's really cool. Love and relationships is always on. What changes is the dynamic. And in fact, we don't want to be with all people physically. No. Yeah, some of us were gray asexual. Some are completely asexual. And that's depending on the polyamory person, which is why they like, ew, polygamy. Don't do that. It's okay. They get their choice. We get our choices. Again. So we love more, not less. And we know what people say, but it's okay. We know that love is infinite. Time is not. So we choose who we're going to build a home with because they say, hey, I want you. And you say, I don't know. Do I want you? We're going to talk about this. Let's talk details. I'm a solo poly. What about you? So tune in for more. Have a great one.